The most challenging part of starting virtual assistants is finding your first client. I know because I have been there. And it is easy for me to share some tips and strategies and some hacks that you can do to help you find your first client. But personally, when I think back at when I got started in 2019, when I started freelancing, there is only really one thing that I believe is the real reason why I succeeded as a virtual assistant. And I believe 100% if you have this one thing, then your success as a virtual assistant is very, very likely. And that one thing is easy, really. That one thing is just obsession, getting obsessed with being a virtual assistant. When I started in 2019, I started offering WordPress web design. There is a lot of competition. Even then, even now, there is a lot of competition in WordPress web design. And that is what I started with. And when I started, I didn't even have enough skills. I didn't have a lot of resources when I got started. When I started, I didn't even have a personal computer. I had to raise up some money and bought a second-hand computer, not even a new one. I didn't have enough knowledge of how to even do the job. And that is why when I ended up finding my first client, I ended up screwing it off and getting a 1-star review from my first client. And all of these things really, if you look at it, I am in a same position as many of you getting started, or even worse. Because if you have time right now, then you are even in a better position than I was, because I had a full-time job at that time. So I don't even have that much time. I didn't have a personal computer. I didn't have extra money. I didn't have the right skills. I still succeeded. And if that is the case, then why did I succeed? It's not because I found a mentor. It's not because I found a coach, or I paid for coaching, or I have the right working tools, or I go to some academy and learn anything. The main reason why I succeeded is because I become obsessed with it. I become obsessed with it, and I'm thinking about it every single day and every single time. Whatever I am doing, I am thinking about it. I started on freelancer.com, and I can tell you this, unless I am doing something that is not possible for me to check my phone, like every 30 minutes, I have to look at my phone, check my messages to see if a potential client responds to one of my proposals. It's not possible at that time for a full 30 minutes to pass without me checking freelancer.com. And I didn't do that for 1 week. I did that for at least 3 months before I found my first client. Even when in the middle of the night, anytime I woke up in the night, for whatever reason I woke up in the night, I will not go back to bed until I check freelancer.com, check the proposals I sent, and check if there are new jobs posted that I can send my proposal to. This obsession is what really helped me, because yes, you do need to learn all the skills to offer to client. If you are obsessed, you are going to learn the skills. If you are obsessed, you are going to keep sending proposals, and you are going to be better at writing proposals that are tailored to each specific job that you send the proposal to. If you are obsessed, you are going to have a conversation with multiple potential clients, and the more conversations you have with potential client, the better you are going to be at that. If you are obsessed, you are going to keep practicing your skills, keep creating work samples, and keep figuring out how to make it work. So this one thing is what will help you succeed. If you have this obsession of making it work, you are going to figure out a way to make it work. Finding a coach or a mentor or some coaching program is not really what is the most important. Yeah, if you can afford this, it might help. If you find the right coach, it will help. But I can tell you, it's not what you need. You don't really need it in order to succeed. All you need to succeed is yourself. If you focus on succeeding, on making it work, and you are thinking about it all the time, you are going to figure out a way to succeed. One problem is you might get obsessed for 2 or 3 days, and if nothing works, or for 1 week, if nothing works, then you may give up. And I can tell you, I get obsessed about it for over 3 months without giving up, without getting tired, without losing interest, until I found my first client. Even when I found my first client, I messed it off. I found another client. I ended up working with, I think, 4 or 5 clients on freelancer.com, and I had 50% bad client reviews. So the platform, the account become close to impossible to find client. And I even never withdrew any money on the platform because I work for some clients. The client is not happy and the client disputed the payment. So I end up not getting the payment. The client that let me have the money, I have to pay Freelancer.com membership in order to be able to send more proposals. So all the work that I did on Freelancer.com, I didn't get any money for it. I didn't withdraw any money from it. I withdrew my first money on Fiverr after I left Freelancer.com. So you see, if you are obsessed and you are not going to give up no matter how long it takes, you cannot spend 2 hours watching a movie without pausing every 10 to 15 minutes to check your app platforms, to check your proposals. That is what is going to help you succeed. That is why I believe probably it's not for everyone, because really not everyone can have that kind of obsession. Unless if you have to make it work, if you have other choices, if you have other alternatives, you are comfortable. It's really hard to have this kind of obsession if you are comfortable. So really the only one question that I want to ask you right now is, if you believe you are doing everything you can and you still can't find a client, how many times do you check freelancing platforms or wherever you send proposals? How many times do you check to see if you receive a response? How many times do you check to see how you can send more proposals? How many hours do you spend per day trying to make virtual assistant work for you? And yeah, things work for people in different ways. So maybe you might even succeed without being obsessed about it. I don't know, but this is what works for me. And I believe if you are that obsessed, you have to figure out a way to make it work. And if you really think you can do that and you are really ready and willing to give up unnecessary activities to focus on being a virtual assistant, you can watch this next video where I'm going to give you a 3-step formula that if you implement it right, your success is going to be a lot more achievable. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next one.